Good morning and welcome to Race Streamer. I'm going off to Buckmore Park soon for the second time this year to race in Club 100s. And I'm going to start off this video in a bit of a different way because I'm going to talk through what I'm going to do a bit differently today compared to back in February when it felt like I'd been in a fight after I'd driven around that castle all day. So I've come up with kind of a routine for pre-race. So for me it's about eating right, warming up, because it feels like a proper workout driving these karts. So last night just having a big meal with lots of rice. That works for me so far with the other races I've done this year. If any of you guys have a routine for what you do before any particular races, eating wise, exercise wise, be interested to hear what you do. Part 2 of my morning routine, if you will, before a race is warming up with this thing, rolling around on it. In case anyone doesn't know what one of these things is, it's just called a foam roller. It's really good for soft tissue massages. Also, there's a few stretches that I need to do as well. The foam roller doesn't do everything, so I'll just do a few stretches, particularly to do with my wrists and my neck. And the final thing I tend to do before I head out to the track, other than making sure I've got everything packed, is I'll just sit down and watch like a lap video or some race footage of Club 100 just to get ideas for where good overtaking opportunities are or where bad ones are, etc. Shout out to Super GT for all your awesome content on putting up full race reruns. So here's a bit of show and tell for you. A few bits of new equipment that I've got since last time I was here at Buckmore, starting with a seat insert. So it's like a regular bucket seat that Tillit make, it's just they've got the bottom of it cut out and they've got foam strips around the side so that way it fits really snugly into the normal bucket seat. It's great because I slip right in, as snug as a bug in a rug, you might say. Secondly, I've got me a actual proper rib protector, if you can see. I think it's a P1 made by Tillit. I'll put an image here. It's definitely saved my ribs more than once now, that with the rib protector, so shout out to Tillit, massively good products, thank you very much for saving me a lot of grief. Further to that, I've still got the lead ballast that I had back in February, so that's to bring me up to the minimum weight of 78 kilos for the lightweights, and my number, which is different to before because I'm in a different championship now. Back in February I was doing the Sprint 60, now I'm in the Sprint Championship. And yeah, that's everything you need to go racing in Club 100s. You can borrow suits. I've got my own because my dad used to race sometimes, so I've got his kart suit, gloves, boots, which I had to buy for myself because my feet are bigger than my dad's. Oh yeah, and a lid. One other thing worth mentioning that I added to my kind of safety gear, and that's I bought some knee pads because I find that when I'm going around the particularly fast corners I'm quite tight to the fuel tank with my knees, so I was rubbing that, getting really bruised up back in February. So I don't know if you can really see that, but I've got a bit of extra padding now. There tends to be a fair bit of waiting around on a Club 100 sprint day, which is good. You've got time to socialise, unless you're me and you talk to camera on your Larry. But hey, so at the moment the heavyweights are out. They're doing 3 sprints, and then there's 3 lightweight sprints, and then it constantly switches between that in the day. Eventually the day ends with a C final, B final and an A final for both lightweights and heavyweights, and then today there's a super final which combines the best lightweights, heavyweights, super heavyweights, and that's how the day runs. I think each heat is 7 minutes long before the first heat of each day. As you can hear, you've got 5 warm-up laps, so you can familiarise yourself with the circuit if you haven't done a test. Also it gives yourself a chance to get used to the particular kart you're in. To be fair, from what I've experienced, they're all pretty similar. I've just seen a couple of guys pull off into the pits though, so obviously they're not happy about something in their karts, but it gives you a chance to find this out and adjusting as you see fit. The way the day runs are really slick. There's quick changeovers between karts, so if you've got a race coming up, you probably want to get ready for yours during the start of the previous race, because there's only like, what, 10 minutes to race later on in the day when there aren't the practice sessions beforehand. And what I know is I'm starting on pole in the first heat of the day, so I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit nervous about that. but it's a circuit I know well, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I end up towards the front of the field by the end of the race.
Here we go then, round 5 of the Club 100 Lightweight Sprints Championship for 2019 is go here at Buckmore Park. Great start there for Rob Dowsett. He gets a good shot off the line but runs wide on the approach to Henry's Bend, and that changes the lead straight away into the hands of Josh Wellard in the blue suit, into hairpin 1. Are they all going to make it round? Everyone's either running a very tight line or wide line. No, they haven't all made it round. There was a spinner there towards the back. We'll try and catch who that was in a moment. Through hairpin 2 now. I can see Matt Jones there in the teal green suit running a little bit wide, getting on the power as early as possible, but taking him out wide there. But look at this. Again. It is raining again here at Buckmore Park as they dive down through Pullmans. There's a contact warning as well already for Dan Brewer, and it's still the 88 of Josh Wellard running there at the front. The 85 of Stephen Docker still there in third, and there's Steve Hicks in the green and white Tony Kart suit. I think he started to pull his way through the field already here as they end lap 1.
I was keeping an eye on Ben Atkinson during that first lap, based on what you were talking about on rolling up, Andrew. He was a man on the mission, got straight to the inside of turns 1 and 2, but because of the dampness, it didn't quite pay off for him, either there or at hairpin 1 where he tried the same thing. But here he is now trying the outside line, the conventional wet line. Is that against Thanasi Barnes?
It's Steve Hicks.
Steve Hicks. And
concrete there, he's going again now, he's absolutely fine, but that's his race absolutely ruined.
Yeah, he just got the leftmost wheels on the paint, which of course is so greasy in these conditions, which is why when we saw Stephen Docker getting
UKC weather.
It is actually.
Proper UKC weather. Wetter than it was, I think, in February when we were here for round 1. 13th in the end for Josh Wellard, having led early on. 14th Reese Pope, 15th Rob Dowsett.
So me and my experience in the rain stacked it twice, I think. I'm not annoyed at myself because I just didn't know what was going to happen, but it was weird. The rain hit in like 2 waves, so it was light rain and that sustained for, I don't know, a lap or 2, and then boom, it just all came down in one go. So learning experience, right? Heat number 2 coming up for me now. I got absolutely soaked in the first heat and it's totally set into me now, so tip for anyone out there based on my experience now, get a wetsuit. It's not fun when you're freezing your ass off like I am now. Hoping the wind kind of dries me out, hoping for a good race.
Ross Cook and Rob Dowsett on row 5. Josh Wellard and Julian Clist on row 6. Ben Frost and Sam Morris on row 7. James Wattis and Chris Woodger on row 8. Chris Powell and Thanasi Barnacote on row 9. Away we go then for the 6th heat for the lightweights. All kinds of pushing and barging at the front of the field early on there. And have we got a little bit of rain?
We have more rain coming down. It's very light at the moment, Andrew, but the rain has returned.
No, in fact, Powell takes 6th on the line. So Chris Powell takes 6th, 7th for Julian Clist, 8th for Thanasi Barnacote, 9th Rob Dowsett.
Heat 2 went a lot better. There was only one small moment where I slightly fell off the track. Must have lost me a second and a half. But my main priority with that race was just to stay on the track, which is great. So I'm absolutely freezing my arse off, if I can be honest. So I'm going home, because there's a big gap between Heat 2 and Heat 3 for me. I'm going to try and blow dry my race suit a little bit and get some lunch. Probably just going to have a baked potato and tuna and then head back to the track soon.
All set then for Heat 12 in the lightweights. Away we go. Good start for Bailey Morgan. Mitchell Alfredson was a bit slow there, similar to the lap.
At the back of the field, I can just see out the window Something I think may have happened here at Syme Sweep, Andrew.
One is the 114, which is Rob Dowsett, and there was another cart off the road as well, which we'll try and capture who that was in a moment. Bailey Morgan now starts. Eyes on the lights, the red, the green, we're racing. Great start for the number 42. Looking up the inside there was Rhys Pope. A clean start there for the lightweights in this C final. Into another one of the carts. I think there were 3 wide in through Garda, which simply doesn't work, but it's Ditchburn from Pope, but Pope should have, it'll be a 2-place penalty for a race jump start. Indeed, if the race was to finish like this, he'd be classified in 4th. Oscar Lancaster is already up to 8th place, so keep an eye out for the number 98, as good move being done there.
I think that was Rob Dowsett and
Martin Auger.
No, Barry Williams, I think. I think Martin Auger might be just ahead or drop behind this pack.
So yeah, so the 114 moving up through the field now. Rob Dowsett up to 3rd place ahead of Barry Williams and Martin Auger. So
and Oscar Lancaster has dropped back down to 8th place now, which
change for 2nd place. Rob Dowsett has got past Rhys Pope, so now this is not good news for Rhys Pope.
At the moment, Loic Ditchburn just seems to be controlling the gap. Rob's obviously come through the field, so he looks like he might be the one to challenge him.
See Oscar Lancaster still out there as well in the 98. Here are your leaders going through the first couple of corners. Contact warning for Christian Schultz and the number 73. Ditchburn now starting to come under a little bit of pressure now from Rob Dowsett in the 114. And at this stage, David, obviously we're still in sprint racing. You know, if you're Rob Dowsett, you probably want to push along at the moment. You don't want to fight and encourage other drivers into the battle. Yeah,
exactly. Rhys Pope is still close enough, and if you have a 3-cart battle and you're in the middle of it, you do not know which side you want to look at. But he's just gone for a move there on Loic Ditchburn into Garda, nice and cleanly done, and he will probably pull away unless Loic can jump on the back of his cart.
Yeah, let's have a look at that again. Up the inside into Garda, classic manoeuvre being done there by Rob Dowsett. No contact, clean as you like. That's a very, very nice move for the lead of this race. Just over 90 seconds to go. Here is your leader, Rob Dowsett, who's now in the lead by 4.7 seconds over Loic Ditchburn. Rob Dowsett is away and clear. He's just coming up to Garda corner now. You can see out the window. 2nd, 3rd and 4th should all qualify. I thought for a moment then that the 67 was going to hit that cone and take himself out of B final, but here we come then across the line. There's Rob Dowsett. He wins in the C final. 2nd place will go to Louis Ross. He's there as well. 3rd for Loic Ditchburn, Leo Stolirov, and row 11 Andy Yelland and Peter Hargreaves. Those were your automatic qualifiers into this B final. We of course got our 4 promotees from the C final. So Rob Dowsett will start from 23rd, Louis Ross will be from 24th, Loic Ditchburn 25th, and Ben Frost 26th. Can Rob Langthorpe keep his C2 challenge on track? Away they go then. Clean start from the front row. Langthorpe will lead into turn 1. Woodger's having a look at Wielden on the inside, trying to get 2nd place off of him. Althson trying to go around the outside as well in the 83. Very clean start there from the lightweights. They've all made it through hairpin 1. Martin, 9th for Billy Robson, 10th Julian Clist, 11th for James Wattis, 12th Rob Dowsett. Great drive that from Rob Dowsett from the C final, finishes 12th.
Quick day debrief, because I didn't have a lot of time between races just then. I didn't have the best of days in the heats. As you will have seen by the footage just shown, I did not finish in Heat 3. It's an unfortunate racing incident, which I don't apportion blame to the other driver or to me. It was just a combination of us two. I spoke to him afterwards, it was totally cool. So I started in the C final. I started 7th and I won, which is nuts. It's really good. And by 10 seconds, because 2nd place and down was battling, so it just let me eke out a really big lead. So that was pretty awesome. And then I managed to move on to the back of the B final because I came in the top 4 in the C final, and the B final was good fun. Lots of really tight racing, a bit of bumping, but it's part of it, right? To an extent, anyways. I mean, I definitely loaded on my driver at one point by accident, but that's racing, and I'm still learning. So it's cool. It's been a good day overall. It's been a bit of a learning curve in terms of the wet conditions this morning. Even though I know Buckmore well, I didn't expect the rains to have that quick an effect on the lap times and the grip levels. So yeah, if you're thinking about coming up to a Club 100 race, they have test days all the time, Fridays and Saturdays. Normally the Sunday ones are reserved for just drivers that are racing that day, but you should totally give it a go. It's so much fun. If you've raced any indoor karts or rental karts, I would so recommend it, because even if you don't get good results, it's just such a buzz, and it's a really good community here. I honestly highly recommend it. Yeah, so that's the day over for me. Just going to stick around, watch the other finals that are going on, the A final and the Super Final, and I will see you guys soon.